Tonight, I want to engage you in spreading some juicy gossip. Not the kind of malicious and snarky kind of gossip, but the kind of gossip that helps people, that's well-meaning. Like you might say, did you know that so-and-so was sick and could use some help? Or did you hear about her daughter getting married and how wonderful the wedding was, and you want to be part of that and chat with her? So that kind of gossip. I know that churches are good at gossip. I've lived through some of that and probably contributed to a fair bit of it. So I'm coming and speaking to you as experts in the field of gossip. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about gift planning in dioceses and in parishes, how to organize that. After I've talked about how we look at the news that you're going to spread. So here's what you're going to tell people, the gossip you're going to call out to others and chit-chat about. Here it is. Almost all Anglicans can leave some money to the church in their wills. First one. Second one, sometimes many people who are alive can give larger gifts while they're alive by planning those gifts. Gifts like a gift of shares, sometimes especially those that are going to cost your heirs a lot of tax, but sometimes annuities, or what we call a gift plus annuity or a charitable gift annuity. And the third thing I want you to gossip about is why you should consider that, why anybody should consider that. I think when you plan a gift, you're making a sign, you're giving a sign to your heirs, to your church, whether it's the parish, the diocese, the national church, the Primates Fund, the Anglican Foundation, Indigenous Ministries, it can go on, the journal. When you're doing that, you're giving a sign that the church has meant a good deal to you. It has helped create your life. It has made you who you are. So if you got it, that's the gossip that you need to spread. It is juicy, right? Anglicans can leave money in their will. Some Anglicans can give money now in certain ways that are beneficial around taxes. And we're doing it because we are formed by what God has given to us in the church we love. So that's the gossip. And I'm going to tell you a secret too. This isn't really gossip, but it's a secret that only gossipers can hear. Gift planning is actually not very complicated. Lots of people make it out to be complicated, and I have to say there are some complicated bits, and that's when you have to ask for the help that's around, and I'll tell you how to do that. But it is really at this point important that you know it's not complicated. It just means you ask, you offer, and you yatter, you gossip. That's the gossiping I need you to do. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you, it's always useful to be able to gossip after you already have made your decision to do this. So I need to tell you, you know me enough to know that I don't have a lot of money. But in my will, I have set aside some money for my own parish church, for the national church, and for a religious order. And I've already given a small gift of a small number of shares to the diocese. You see, a little bit now, and still a little bit, but some when I've gone. So there's my secret. You see, and you know that. But you see how sneaky I was. I didn't tell you how much. So let's go on to what we might do if we're a diocese beginning to form a planned giving committee. It too is simple. There are 4 steps. The first one is find some people that will take some leadership. I'd suggest 3 to 5, but if you're in a small diocese, 1 will do. It's better than none. Find these people who have the trust of the people they're with. Find people, not always people of wealth. It's much easier to hear something from somebody like me who doesn't have a whole lot, has enough, but hasn't got a whole lot. Find people who are good at planning. So, first thing, get the people together, form a committee. Then, second step, get them connected to the resources that are available. And I'm going to start this talk, this World Wide Web talk. It's www.anglican.ca. There's tons of information about gift planning on that website, and it's updated regularly. Remember that. That's one of the resources. And we have people resources too at the National Church who will get that group connected and starting to think about their way forward. Second step. Third step. Develop a plan. I know gift planning committees in dioceses that have taken 1.5 years to develop a plan. They don't know how simple it is. You develop a simple plan. It's really what I guess people in the corporate world might call a marketing plan. What do you need in print? What do you need on video? Where do you need to be? And who's going to say it? That's all. See, you could do that tonight. Make a plan. And then the 4th step is also one that's often forgotten, and that is to implement the plan. A little harder, but you have to get out there and do the trick. You have to talk the way I've told you. They've got to be gossipers. They've got to encourage other gossipers to start saying, have you made your will? Have you thought of giving to the church in your will? Have you thought of giving to the parish, to the diocese, to the national, the list that I gave you earlier? What's all there? What are your opportunities that are there? That's how you form a diocesan plan giving committee. And you want to know how to form a plan giving committee for a parish? Just the same, only faster, because you know the people. And you know who's trustworthy. And you know who people are trusting. That's what you do. It's as simple as that. Now, it is a fair bit of work, and I'm underplaying it. You know what you do in churches, you often say it's very simple and there's more work to it. But there's not that much more work to it, because it's the gossiping, it's the spreading the juicy stuff at coffee hour, around the dinner table, at vestry meetings, at parish council meetings. That's when you can talk about gift planning. So I've told you it's all simple, but I would like to share some advice with you. I always like giving advice, even when people don't ask. So let me give you some advice. The people you choose to develop the plans need to go through the diocesan protocol for screening that's written out and very clear. It's really important that these can be people who are trusted, because in fact, in some cases, they may be meeting with people who are vulnerable to suggestion. That's a pretty awkward and delicate thing to do. You have to be sure that they know what protocol to follow. They probably need to sign a confidentiality agreement too. That's not the kind of gossip you want them carrying. Like, what did she really say she could give? You will never believe what she said she would give. You want to stop that totally in its track. It's truly, truly important that not happen. Another piece of advice is that when anyone is talking about gift planning, you tell them about the ministries of the whole church and then listen to what they're interested in. What topic, what's the place they want their money, their accumulated assets to go. There's lots more advice I could give you, as you probably know, but I won't go too much farther. I just want to say that as you move forward in sharing the gossip that I've asked you to share, I mean, when did anybody ever ask you to share gossip? But I just did. As you think of that and as you share it, please go forward knowing why you're doing it. And you're doing it because God is providing an exciting time for the church now. Sometimes we get down. Sometimes we get depressed about what's happening in the church. In fact, it is one of the most creative, exciting times. We're in a society that makes being church a real challenge. But in the world that we're in, we find those touches of wonderful hope and excitement. And you will know, if you spread the rumor, the way I asked, you spread the gossip, that you will be one who is helping to create and build on the church of the future, that your kids and your grandkids and your nieces and your nephews will see as representing the values that you have lived in all your life and you want to share with them. So, go off and gossip. Thank you.